Good evening, Nom and Glenn. My name is Rob Smith, and I'm one of the members of the board of directors. And let's see, for the last 10 years I've been on the board. I served as the president for the first 9 years. And this last year, I took a welcome break from those duties, thanks to Boyce, who was willing to step in and take that over. And then Virginia served as the president or the vice president. I forget how many years now, probably 7 years, 6, 7 years. And she went ahead and slid back to a member at large position, which is basically we serve on the board, we just don't hold officer positions. Eric Barnes served as the treasurer, and Justin served as the vice president this last year. And we got a couple things coming up, and since I'm the one who really knows how to make the videos and do the YouTube stuff, I thought I'd take a minute to just kind of jump in real quick and throw some information out there. It is Memorial Day weekend, and I guess I'm going to lead with a thought that I had on that. I'm a U.S. veteran of the United States Army, and I served in Iraq, and I think most people know that I've got some public service and everything, but it's always funny this time of year. I get a lot of Happy Memorial Day, and I think we all say Happy Memorial Day, kind of almost out of habit. And I don't want to say it's a pet peeve because that makes it sound like I'm upset with people when they say Happy Memorial Day, and I'm never upset. I get the sentiment. It's funny. My brother, he served in the United States Army. He was a tanker. I was a military policeman, and my brother, just the other day, he said Happy Memorial Day, and again I get the sentiment. And he served, and still I kind of joked with him. I just said, "Did you get Veterans Day confused with Memorial Day?" And that's because Memorial Day, I think a lot of times people associate it directly with the military, and they want to thank people for their service. And the sentiment again is important, but I think it's important to remember that Memorial Day is for those who didn't make it back. Not everybody who went to war came home from war. Sometimes the most tragic and ridiculous circumstances. Some people just get in a car crash. Other people are killed as a direct result of action. And, we remember them on this day, and we remember their families. So my heart goes out to the families who lost somebody. And I say to you, we remember you during Memorial Day. And recently, Policemen's Memorial Day was right at the beginning of May. That week is celebrated. And I say celebrated, it's held in remembrance. It's just so easy for us in society to forget. I think that the weather this weekend kind of hits home for it. It's rainy outside, it's cool. It's not what we would expect from Memorial Day, what we look forward to. A lot of times we're planning picnics and get-togethers with family, and I'm sure some of those plans have been dashed, maybe ruined. But don't let it ruin it. Still come together with your family, still celebrate that time together, because that's what it's about, is being able to celebrate the time that you still have with your family. Because not everybody gets to have their family around on Memorial Day. That's what we're remembering. So let's keep it in remembrance. And as you go through the weekend, the pool is available, but obviously it's rainy and cold, so nobody's using the pool, and nobody's out grilling because it's not really sunny and beautiful weather. But maybe this year it kind of lands a little more home, that this is what it feels like for a lot of people all the time. Every time they think of a loved one, every time they think of somebody who paid the ultimate price for our freedoms, whether you believe in the combat that they were involved in, whether the soldier themselves believed in it, they did what they had signed up to do. And it's so few people do these days. Everybody knows a veteran because we had so many years of war, starting in 2001 with Afghanistan, for this generation at least. And then the Vietnam vets. I was reminded of Vietnam as I looked up into a crowd at a graduation this morning. For a high school graduation, I saw a gentleman with a Vietnam veteran's hat on, and our Vietnam vets, if you were 20 and at the time of Vietnam, as it closed out, if you were 20 years old, you're probably 67 years old, 70 years old for our Vietnam vets. So, we're losing them every day, and they didn't get the welcome homes that we got. And I'll share a personal, again, this is completely unrelated to HOA stuff, but maybe the message will still be useful. When I came back from Iraq, we got off the plane. This was very late 2003, right at the end. I think it was December 2003. We got off the plane. We landed in Bangor, Maine, and as I exited the plane with all the other guys, we were basically allowed to get off the plane, go down the airport, go to the restroom. First real restrooms we had seen in a long time, and we had been told that there was probably the bar would probably be open. And of course everybody wants to celebrate. We're back. We've officially touched down on U.S. soil. And as we were coming off the plane, we're flying back to Kentucky is where we're headed to Fort Knox, Kentucky. So there's no family there for us or anything. This is a touchdown, refuel. We probably had a half hour, 45 minutes. I don't remember. It wasn't long. And we were coming off the plane, and we heard clapping like this. It's tough even now thinking back on it. We heard clapping, and we came off the plane, and there were guys lined up waiting for us, family members clapping, and they were veterans from World War II. In Vietnam. They were waiting for us. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. So, wow, I didn't expect it to hit me like this. So we came off the plane, and these awesome people, it turns out they were with a local VFW, and their wives and their family members had met every plane coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq. That was crazy. Not everybody made it back. So I'm fortunate to be back. I'm with my family. I'll spend this weekend with my family. It's gonna be nice to be back here and with my family this weekend. So spend time with your families. Spend time with your families and think about those guys who didn't make it back. So HOA business, sprinkler system obviously is running at the front of the neighborhood. We're trying to get that fixed, but of course it happens on Memorial Day weekend. So that's something to think of. Also in July, we've got the elections coming up. We need to re-elect our board members. As of right now, I think I'll run again. Virginia will probably run again. She's always been there and stayed with her to support me. I think we're going to lose Boyce, but who knows? I know Boyce is willing to serve again if he has to, but he's done a year, and he's sat in that president's role, getting those continuous emails. It almost becomes a second job. It's a lot. I have pool fobs I need to deliver to people. If you've never met me before, I'm Rob. I'm the guy that's supposed to get the pool fobs programmed for you. Obviously, I try to do them on the weekends because I'm just so busy at work. And if you don't know what I do for a living, feel free to reach out and I'll update you. But you can ask around and people will tell you what I do. So pool fobs, trying to get those done. Elections are coming up. If you can't make it to the annual meeting, please take the time to fill out a proxy and give it to somebody who's going. And Boyce put it out there recently, I know, on Facebook, but I know not everybody's on Facebook, and we only touch a certain number of people on YouTube, but maybe we'll reach a few people. So get the word out, get those proxies filled out. If you've delivered them to me in the past and you want to give them to somebody else, that's fine too. It doesn't really matter as long as your vote is represented. we need to have, I think we got to have at least 30 people. And last year we struggled to have that many people in either in attendance or in proxy. The proxy is revocable, so if you think you can't be there, go ahead and fill it out, give it to somebody. If you show up at the meeting, they'll just cancel your proxy and you get to vote in person. People will often say, well, we'd like to know about the candidates before then. It's really hard to communicate who the candidates are, because right now I don't know who the candidates will be. If you're interested in running for the board, if you'd like to serve in some way, we could use your input. I know that there's been some call in the past for anybody who's in townhomes who's interested in serving. You don't have to serve on the board to make a difference, but it makes it a whole lot easier. You know, we're the ones that end up making the decisions, and people aren't happy with the decisions sometimes, and that's just part of what we are supposed to do. We're the representation. We don't have to ask anybody's permission. Once you're elected on the board, you get to do what you want to do as far as vote. So if you're somebody who wants to have a direct impact, the board is the easiest way to do that. And the commitment's not really big for somebody who's just serving like I did this year in an auxiliary role. And one of the things I'm doing, I just primarily focused on taking care of getting the pool ready, getting the pool open, and then getting pool fobs out. And again, I think I owe like 5 or 6 people pool fobs, and I'm sorry. I'll try to get them done over Memorial Day weekend. It's rainy outside, so I feel like there's not a big rush, but I can try to get that banged out this weekend. So, yeah, I don't know the meeting date off the top of my hand or off the top of my head for July, but the letters are out. I know because I got one in the mail, and that information is posted on our website. I'm almost positive. I'll try to double check. Please, again, keep your families in mind for Memorial Day. Didn't expect to get quite as sentimental as I did there, but I think the message rings true. So to those of you who have somebody that you're remembering this weekend, my heart is with you and your family, and thank you for the last 13 minutes or so.